Peace and blessings, everybody. Peace and blessings, everybody. Peace and blessings, everybody. Peace and blessings, y'all. Welcome.
Now tuning into the Alice and Denise podcast.
Alice and Denise, A-D-A-D, the petite powerhouse, A-D, always 100. You can like it or not. She don't mind pushing buttons all up in your hot spots. Crock pot cooking, damn. And she good looking, hold up, brain and beauty, raising awareness, certified therapist, but much better prepared with it. Check her portfolio, it's accredited. Like, subscribe, follow, share it. Roll out the red carpet for the queen, and welcome to the show. Peace and blessings. Alice and Denise, A-D-A-D.
Peace and blessings, y'all. Peace and blessings. This is relationship coach and the petite powerhouse, Miss Alice and Denise, and you are tuned into the Alice and Denise podcast, where we answer your relationship questions live. Thank you so much for tuning in on this pre-Valentine's Day edition. I hope those of y'all who are booed up or about to be booed up are having a good time planning, getting all settled, getting dressed, getting ready, getting all that stuff together. I hope all of the gifts are already ordered and the proposal speeches have already been memorized. I'm looking forward to Love Day. I know some of y'all don't celebrate it. I don't care. I love. I just love seeing all the hearts, the candy, the flowers, all that good stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing how everyone else is treated and treats others on that particular day. Yes, I know the history. I know all that. That's fine. Thank you for sharing. I still like the intent that people have about it today. Yes, I know it's misused. Yes, I know some people should be receiving this treatment all year long. I get all that. But I appreciate the intent and the thought that people decide to use that day for in this moment. So I hope you guys are going to have a good time, all that good stuff. And I hope that I can maybe set a precedent for those, I got some fellow single people that are just some big Scrooges. This time of year, just Scrooges. They don't want to see hearts. They don't want to see candy. And it's not even because of the history of the day. It's not because of none of that. It's just because they're single and they tired of being single and they don't want to see other people happy. But my thing is, how we going to get to what's for us if we can't celebrate when other people have found theirs? That's just my thought. So hopefully I will set a precedent. But thank you guys again so much for tuning in. Shout out to those of you who are watching on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. It is truly appreciated. Please don't forget to like and share this video. Those of you who are long, strong supporters who have already been here from the very first episode, both when it became a YouTube podcast, and those of you who were checking me out when we were on Anchor for a little while. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please feel free to go ahead and share this video to your timelines, your groups. Those of you who are watching on YouTube Live, don't forget to send your links. And all of you, don't forget to go over to YouTube, the Alice and Denise podcast, and I am Alice and Denise, 2 separate channels. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell notifications for each, okay? All right, so you know how we do. We are going to talk about some questions that those of you who were brave enough to send them to me have either emailed or inboxed or DM'd. And we're going to answer them. And those who choose to go ahead and listen as well, we're going to go ahead and get their input on your questions also, okay? So we try to keep it light and fun. Of course, if we get some crazy questions or questions that, necessitate a different answer being provided, then that's what we'll do. So before we get to that, let me remind you guys of this coming Valentine's Day brunch here in Dallas, Texas. Let me remind you guys of this brunch. Let's go ahead and put up the flyer so you can see that. We have the Love and Sip brunch coming up on this Sunday, Valentine's Day. Now, it doesn't matter if you're single or booed up. You are welcome to this event, okay? And here's the good news. You single people, or maybe even you booed up people who are just kind of like, yeah, but I really just wanted to do something on Valentine's night. You still have that time because this is what? A daytime event. We already thought about all that. So single people, come on, and you can still get home and get dressed. If you get that last minute date or that last minute person who reaches out, even though they shouldn't be reaching out last minute, but that's another topic for another day. If someone reaches out to you today and says that they want to do something for you on Sunday, please, please, please feel free to come to this event first. You will still have plenty of time to go home and get cute all over again. Okay? So it is going to be from 12 to 5 in Dallas. The address is listed right here on the flyer on Hervé Street. It's sponsored by In the Spirit Entertainment, and it's going to be hosted by my brother RJ Colbert. I will be the resident relationship coach on the scene. I will talk about a very brief topic, and then what we're going to do is bring the Allison Denise podcast live to the event. So we will be answering the questions that those of you who come and participate and support by purchasing a ticket, you will have the opportunity to write or ask your question, and I'll answer it there right on the spot. Okay. So the event itself is going to be early bird tickets have sold out due to COVID. You know that capacity is being limited, and one of the reasons that I am making the effort to come to this event is that they are going to honor the social distancing guidelines, the mask being required, all that good stuff. There's going to be drinks, there's going to be food, there's going to be live music. Yours truly, you're going to have a great time. So due to COVID again, the capacity has been reduced, and so the tickets are going a lot faster. Early bird tickets are gone. You now have the option of paying $35 for singles, $75 per couple. If we have tickets available on the day of, I wouldn't wait for that. But if you decide to wait until the day of to come to the door, the tickets will then go up to $45 per person. You can have the option of going to the link that is listed below. And as I did last week, I will copy that in the comments so that you can just click on the link and go to it. You also have the option of going to Cash App. Go ahead and send it to $ in the spirit ENT. Make sure you put your name or the names of people who need to be added to the guest list on the memo section so that your name can be added to the list, and you can feel free to pay that way as well. Okay. All right, so that is all we have for that. Don't forget, in terms of the Bad Squad, I'm 1/3 of the Bad Squad radio show. And don't forget, you get 2 on Tuesday. So you have me this afternoon at 2 o'clock. If you will come right back to my page at 9 o'clock tonight, you will have TMI with Tate, News Edition with my brother Tate. He talks about a little everything, y'all. And if you've heard Tate, Tate is Tate. So you get to see Tate by himself in rare form, discussing everything from news with his spin on it to a very necessary topic and a series that he's created, or a segment he's created called Real Man-ish, where he sits in the corner and he talks about real man-ish. It's pretty cool. Y'all should check it out. So 9 o'clock Central, if you are already connected with him on Facebook and YouTube, please feel free to go ahead and link up with him there. If not, I'm going to share it to my page, so it'll be waiting for you at 9 o'clock. All right. So I think that's all I have in terms of notifications. Let me run through these comments real quick. Peace and blessings, Yolande. Thank you for tuning in. Let's see. Hey, Troshelle. Good to see you, sis. It's so good to see you, bro. What's up, Jason? Let's see here. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that compliment. Peace and blessings, Gregorio. Good to see you. I appreciate it. Let me see what else you had to say. Relationship expert, relationship coach. You just titling me everywhere, huh? Lady of the Bad Squad. Yes, I am. Proud member. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So in terms of segments, I did decide this week to come up with one of my own. And so we'll see how long it goes. You know me, I just try things out. We'll see what sticks. We'll see what reappears every now and then. But I wanted to start a series called Stop Spreading This Shit. Sorry to those of y'all who were at work watching this. I should have gave you a warning. I want to talk about a series called Stop Spreading This Shit. Now, the purpose of this series, whether you are dating, married, divorced, widowed, separated, still waiting patiently, whatever your relationship status is, there are a lot of relationship myths and a lot of relationship BS that is being passed off as true. And if I dare say gospel, just because you've heard multiple people say it. Now, I could go into the psychological side of it and the scientific and biological stuff that talks about how something can be repeated a certain number of times, and if someone hears it a certain number of times, they start to accept it as true, even if it's not. There have been studies that have shown this, and tests have even been done where very truly erroneous information was continuously repeated as true to people, and they actually started to believe that it was true. I'm just going to keep it simple in the relationship sense. A lot of y'all are saying shit to people that's just not true. And so, at least for the next few weeks, I want to talk about one myth that needs to be busted. And those of you who have been on my page today, looking at my morning post, you already know the one that I'm going to discuss. So the one that I'm going to discuss today is the myth that it takes two people to start a relationship and two people to end it. That is 100% wrong. Did I say 100% wrong? 100% wrong. You are correct in the sense that it takes two people to start a relationship, because otherwise it's not a relationship. That's common sense stuff, right? Here's where it gets murky. There are too many people who are trying to make you believe that if a relationship ends, that it was always the fault of two people. And that's not true. There are several people who are racking their brains, gaslighting themselves because of their friends and experts and other people trying to talk them into it because it sounds deep and it sounds prolific. Own your part in relationships. Own your part. Own what you did wrong. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and nip this shit in the bud. Here's the deal. It does not always take two people to end a relationship. Yes, there can be a breakdown in communication. That involves two people. Maybe someone was talking, someone wasn't listening, so somebody decided to stop talking. And since the other person wasn't listening, of course, they weren't talking, so everything just kind of broke down. Yes, there are people who can grow apart. There are a multitude of different ways where two people can contribute to either deciding or initiating the end of a relationship. That is not an absolute fact. And the reason that I want to talk about this is because of what I said a few seconds ago. Y'all are causing people to gaslight themselves with this bullshit, and it's got to stop. Here's the deal. Sometimes, contrary to what the conscious community, the metaphysical community, the Christian community, the religious community, the we're above all types of spiritual connection community, regardless of what community you subscribe to, too many of y'all are trying to make this a dual thing in every case. And number one, not only is that unrealistic, because we're well over 7 million people in the world, and y'all are trying to make this an absolute. When you have 7 million people, over 7 billion, you have over 7 billion people with 7 billion different upbringings, mindsets, chemical imbalances or balances or DNA. You have over 7 billion people, and y'all seriously want to sit back and act like everyone in a relationship, everyone who has had a relationship end, it was because of both people. That scientifically does not make sense, because you're saying that all people do the same things, and that is not true. Otherwise, we would all be celebrating the same religion. We would all be celebrating the same holiday the same way. We would all see love the same way. We would all see race the same way. So since we are in the middle of seeing that there are people with various mindsets, behaviors, habits, stereotypes, whatever, it's just flat out stupid to continue to say that two people end a relationship in all cases. Not true. Stop saying that to your friends and start listening to the actual relationship. Moving forward, another reason this doesn't make sense is because you are negating the fact that people are responsible for their own damn behavior. Period. And I'm just going to say this, and there are going to be some people who are upset with me, and that's cool. You know me. I don't really care. Most of the people who want to try to push this, it takes two people to end a relationship agenda, at some point or another, were the person who was the reason that a relationship ended. You see, it's real easy for people who don't want to be accountable to start telling you that you got to share in their bullshit, because it, to them, makes their bullshit smell a little less shitty, but it's still their bullshit. You just have society making it easier to try to cast some of their bullshit on you, because everybody else is saying, well, no, it takes two people for a relationship to end. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. And y'all got to stop spreading it. Stop spreading that as absolute, because it's not true. Some people just ran into selfish assholes. Some people just ran into people who lied. Some people just ran into people who played with them, who attempted to waste their time. Some people just did that. Well, Allison, they chose to stay. Okay, now that part is true. That is also not the same thing as someone else coming in with wrong intentions. Y'all got to stop minimizing the side that is causing the drama. Like, stop it. Yes, the person who has made a connection. Okay, this person might be bad for me. This person doesn't seem to necessarily be doing what they said they were going to do. Yes, that person 100% has the responsibility within themselves to recognize when they are behaving badly and to move away. That still does not equate them to being part of the relationship ending. The relationship ends because of the jerk or the jerkette who decides that they want to go in with wrong intentions. And I'm starting to understand, unfortunately and begrudgingly, that a lot of people who seem to want to ignore the side of wrong intent seem to be the same assholes who walk in other relationships with the wrong damn intent. So stop letting these people try to gaslight you through their words, through their ads, through their links that they share, the memes that they share. Y'all, this is still bullshit. You know what you went through. You know what you did. You know what you put up with. You know what you didn't. You know what your intent was when you reached out to that person versus the rest of the world. So stop this. Well, everybody else is saying that it involves two people, so I'm just going to put half of my shitty ways on them because they should have seen. Nah, we not doing that. We're not going to do it. And I'm not going to let anybody else who listens to me be gaslit like that. So y'all can stop it. I'll get to at least two more over the next couple of weeks, because there's two more that are driving me fucking insane. But for the moment, stop this shit. It takes two people to start a relationship. In a lot of cases, it takes two people to end a relationship. Not in all. In the absolute shit, because it's not true. All right. So let's see what we have here. Let me see here, Gregorio. What's up, Demo? Good to see you. And I see Tate down here. So Bad Squad is in the house. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. What's up, Siggy? Yep, I'm catching your live again. I appreciate it, sis. Thank you so much. What's up, David? Good to see you. Jason says, response to the title. Really, Jason? Tate says, man, I say this all the time about grouping people. You right. Yes, you do. Trochelle says, come on, church. She also says, where'd your comment go? Oh, it popped up on me. Okay. The people can only take so much. Be accountable. Be accountable. Be accountable. Be accountable. Gregorio says, Miss Allison, there are times when I feel like I'm in a relationship with my lady and her girls because they always have some shit to say. Oh, Lord. This relationship is her and I, not me and them. You absolutely right. And your girl gonna have to check her friends. With respect, I know you love her, but your girl is gonna have to check her friends. That shit needs to end today. Demote says, yes, because if she says it's over and I say it's not, to me, we still in a relationship. That's why. I knew not to read your comment. I knew better. Anyway, Jason says, I disagree. It does take two people to end a relationship. It takes one person effing up and their significant other spouse choosing not to put up with that. In that case, Jason, I will agree with you. Yes, that part works. Tate says, when people go in a relationship because they see the other party as a come up, it's coming up with the wrong intentions. 100% true. You ain't never lied. What's up, Quincy? Good to see you, bro. And Antoinette, peace and blessings in the spirit, entertainment in the house. Thank you guys so much. So that was what I wanted to get off my chest for today. Let's move on to some questions, shall we? All right, as promised, the first question is going to come from our brother Xavier. For those of you who tuned in to last week's podcast, you know that he was one of the more engaged viewers last week, and he asked a question that I knew I was running out of time to answer, so I promised him I would answer it today. So his question last week was, should you forgive gaslighting? Now, for the benefit of those who don't exactly know what gaslighting is, I'm just going to give a very brief introduction of that before I answer his question. Peace and blessings, Brian. Good to see you. So, to answer his question, gaslighting is, there was a movie, I think people have said it came out in the 40s. I keep wanting to try to find a copy, but I haven't found one yet. But there was a movie back in the 1940s called Gaslight. And the movie was about this very rich woman who was married to a guy that only married her because he knew she had money. And so what he decided to do, his agenda, his intent, was to try to slowly make her think she was crazy, make other people think she was losing her mind, so that she would eventually be put away. Because if she's put away, of course, the husband is supposed to be responsible for her and her money, right? So the way he chose to do this was to very subtly move a light from one part of the house to the other. He may take it out of the kitchen and then put it in the bedroom. And she says, wait, wasn't that just in the kitchen? No, it wasn't. It's been there the whole time. What's wrong with you? Are you feeling okay? And he starts doing this enough that she really starts to think she's losing it. I won't mess up the ending for those who try to find the movie, but this is where the term gaslighting came from. It originated from this movie. So gaslighting is simply when someone knows they're lying to you, knows that they're doing something to screw with your head, but they're going to continue to do it because they want you to think you're losing your mind, because they want the upper hand. If they can get you, and this is something that narcissists tend to do very, very well. If they can get you to start doubting you, to start doubting your mindset, to start doubting your sanity, to start doubting your ability to make decisions, think critically, blah, blah, blah. If they can get you to start doubting that, then who do you think you're going to start turning to and trusting without question? You're going to start trusting that narcissist. Well, I can't trust me. I didn't even know that light had been moved. So there must be something wrong with me. So I'm just going to have to divert to whatever they say. Whatever they say is what we'll do. Whatever they say is what I'll do. Whatever they say about me is what's going to be true. Whatever they say is what's going to be the truth to me, because whatever is going on up here isn't right and I can't trust it. It's not only insidious. It's not only hella hateful. It's just completely screwed up on several different levels. And people do this without regard. And as I just mentioned in this segment that I just, created this week, you can bring a whole society to start gaslighting people if you say something long enough that everyone starts to believe it. Now, in reference to this brother's question about should you forgive, what I realized today in meditation, there are a lot of people who have an issue with the word forgive, and I completely understand why, because it's been misused. You have a lot of people who have been traumatized, brutally attacked, just seriously gone through a lot of hell. And the first thing people want to throw at them is you got to forgive. They completely skip over allowing that person to feel how they feel, allowing that person to go through their healing process, allowing that person to feel whatever anger or sadness or depression. They completely ignore that there is a process, and they immediately want to start telling people that they got to forgive. So what ends up happening to the person who has been traumatized multiple times, abused multiple times, gone through several different issues, that word forgive now becomes a trigger to them. And it becomes a trigger in this sense, like, nope, fuck y'all. You're not going to keep trying to throw forgiveness in this direction. So what I'm going to say is that there are two different ways to look at forgiveness. We're going to leave forgiveness in the traditional sense. Yes, it really is better for you in some cases. It is better for you to forgive and move on. Y'all got to stop thinking that everything is forgivable though, because it's not. It's not. You're not going to throw enough Bible at me or anyone else to have us think that everything is forgivable, because it's not. Here is the other side though. When you ask if you should forgive gaslighting, here's what I'm saying that you're asking. You're asking, should you forgive someone for purposely trying to fuck with your head? The answer is hell no. But what you do want to do is learn to accept that that's who that person is. That's the part that we have to start telling people who have been traumatized, abused, having trouble getting over something that a person did. Stop telling them that they have to forgive, especially when you know that that term has been given a bad rap. You don't get to keep, what's the word I'm looking for? You don't want to keep ramming that word down someone's throat just because you have a right concept of it. It's not about you at that time. So stop trying to throw forgiveness at everything because you feel like that's what needs to be done. We all got to learn to just shut up and listen sometimes. There are some instances where you want to suggest that people forgive. In situations like this, where someone has purposely been trying to make you not well mentally, you don't want to forgive that shit. You do want to accept that that's who that person is, though. And the reason I say accept is because it will end up creating the same thing that forgiveness does, but for that person who's gone through it, it gives them the power. Y'all don't understand that there are some things that people have gone through where you throw forgiveness and you're telling them to just bow down because that's how they see it. You got to learn to meet people where they are, not where you think they need to be. Put your Bible down, put your Torah down, put your Quran down, put your crystals down, and just fucking listen. See where that person is. If you see that that person is still very upset, kill the word forgiveness. Swallow it. Have that person move towards accepting that that's who that person is and accepting that that's what that person did. Because that puts the ball back in their court. They don't walk away feeling helpless. They don't walk away feeling like their feelings don't matter. They don't walk away feeling like their process to being healed from something that they didn't even ask to happen to them, they're not feeling like that's being ignored or skipped over. So should you forgive someone for trying to fuck with your head? Absolutely not. You do need to accept that that's what they did, though. Acceptance will say, I wish you had not been who you are, but I accept that this is who you are and this is what you want it to be. And the reason I say it like that is this. Oftentimes people who have been traumatized that are being pushed to forgive, a lot of times they're being pushed to forgive because, and while they're being pushed to forgive, rather, they're coming up with all of this pseudo spiritual crap to justify bad behavior. Well, you know, because I guess I should take their childhood into consideration, and I guess I should think about where they were, and I guess I should put myself in their shoes. No, you don't. You don't need to do none of that shit. Don't romanticize and over spiritualize and over metaphysicalize. I know that ain't a word, but damn it, it is right now. Don't try to overdo that just to make yourself okay with letting go of what they did. Kill that. Accept that that's who they are, because by accepting, it's your choice. And the one thing that a lot of people who have gone through gaslighting, mental abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, spiritual abuse, sexual abuse, rape, cheating, being misled, having their time wasted, what y'all don't understand is the biggest thing at the root of all the things that that person is feeling, they feel like they had their choice taken away. They feel like they had their choice taken away. Why couldn't you tell me in the beginning that you weren't ready for a relationship? Why couldn't I have the choice to stay? Why didn't you keep your hands to yourself? Why did you continue to beat me? People feel like they had their choice taken away. And one of the big things that adults love is to know that they have some damn freedom and some choice. And if you don't believe me, go talk to somebody who had to figure out how to take their keys away from their elderly parents. Ask me how that conversation went. So when you walk someone who's gone through something traumatic like this, when you decide to walk through them, tell them to accept that person. If they can accept that's who that person is, here's another bright spot to that. That person is less likely to go back. Some people are so focused on shoving forgiveness down people's throats, and then that person is so focused on trying to dumb down exactly how significant and serious that offense was, that even in here they start to think, oh, well, maybe it wasn't that bad. So if they call back, I'll give them another chance. Let's accept them. Let's accept. I'm not going to keep making excuses for you. I'm not going to keep making excuses for how you grew up and where you grew up and what you went through. You did this shit because you chose to do it. Could there be a catalyst related to your history? Yes, but that ain't got shit to do with me. You made a choice to do A, B, C, D to me. I accept that this is who you are, because if you wanted to change, you would. So if you're not changing, that means this is who you want to be. You understand how that makes that person feel like they're more powerful now? They're able to see the offense for what it is. They're able to see the person for who they are. Now, they don't have to look back. There's no need for them to give them a second chance. There's no need for closure, because they are saying, I see you for who you are, not who I want you to be. So no, we don't forgive gaslighting. We accept that that person is someone who likes to gaslight, and then we move around accordingly. That's how we handle them. Let me see if anybody has anything else to say. Jason says, yes, we should forgive gaslighting. That's coming from a Christian pastor who still struggles with authentic forgiveness. I appreciate your opinion. Tate says, oh, I thought, I'm not reading yours. I already know it's going to be crazy. You're probably like, you know what? David says, why would I forgive someone that would treat me that way? I already have an issue with forgiveness, so nope. Gregorio said, God forgives, Gregorio doesn't. I don't think I could be much plainer than that. Jason says, forgiveness is possible for any sin. It will take a long time for certain offenses. However, it is possible, especially once we let go of the desire for vengeance. I don't agree, Jason. I appreciate your opinion, though. I appreciate your opinion. So that is the answer to my question. And I will say this for Jason. Jason is not one of the Christians that I do talk about who tends to want to ram stuff down your throat just because it's in the Bible. He's not that guy. So I do want to put that out there. But I also want him to understand that forgiveness has still been given a bad rap. We don't get to change that. If people already have a bad history with that word before we meet them, it's our job to meet them where they are. Like, period. Forgiveness is not a good word depending on certain offenses, especially when that person has had it used against them. That's why I say acceptance is a better word. But that's just me. Tate says, I ain't reading your stuff, Tate. Anyway. Let me move on to the next question. So the next question is an anonymous email. So it says, I think my girlfriend is taking shots at me online. Oof. She says she's not and that I'm crazy. How can I know if she's telling the truth? Okay, so I'm going to be transparent with y'all. So I read this one. I think I got this one about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I finally decided to answer it because I have literally gone through this situation and I was like, wait a minute. I had to make sure this wasn't somebody in my past who was trying to ask a question through me. I wasn't sure I wanted to deal with it. But I decided last time, I was like, forget it. This person sent the question in. Go ahead and answer it. So I'm going to go ahead and answer it. So my thing is, and I'll put this one up again so I can look at it. So I've been that person. As a relationship coach, and most of the people who are watching right now and participating, most of them look at my page. Most of them came from my old page before I created this one last August, I think. And they know that I put up posts about relationships. That's what my thing is. That's what my platform is. So whether I'm in a relationship, dating someone, interested in someone or not, I'm always talking about relationships from various different perspectives. I'm calling out sisters on bad behavior. I'm calling out brothers on bad behavior. I'm calling out bad behavior that both sides can contribute to. I'm praising sisters. I'm praising brothers. I'm encouraging sisters. I'm encouraging brothers. I'm all over the spectrum because I know that relationships and love just have all of these different they just have different spins, different flavors, different mindsets, depending on the people that you talk to and the experiences that they've had, right? The problem that I come into, though, is when I start dating somebody. So when I start dating somebody, even though the person may have been on my page, even though the person may have looked at videos, looked at lives, liked a couple of things that I said, even that person who has seen that this is what my page is about, something happens and then they start thinking that every damn thing I put is about them. I still don't understand it because I'm also very clear that I don't do subliminal shit. Like, I'm real clear that I don't like subliminal shit. I think that's a really low vibrational behavior, and I don't like to be in low vibration, so I don't do it. But there are still people who, for whatever reason, will still think that a post that I put is about them, even if it doesn't even sound like them. So I wanted to get that out before I answered this brother's question, because I want to say this. There's a process that you're going to have to follow to see if she's telling you the truth or not. So, and the very first one is the reason I brought up what my page looks like when I'm dating and when I'm not dating. And there's no difference, because my page is for my platform and my passion, not my personal shit. So no, I don't do personal shit on my platform because it's about y'all. It's about my purpose. I don't insert me into that. I just find that a misuse of the trust that y'all have placed in me to listen to the words that I share and speak. I don't want to add some of my shit into that just to get some secret validation. I got a whole tribe of people offline that I can get that from. So you have to be honest and say, is she doing anything differently than before we met? Go back through her social media. Look at what she was talking about before y'all even knew each other. And look at what she's talking about now. Is it really different, or is it the fact that now that your emotions are involved, you're seeing it differently? Because that's not something she can fix. So if she's adamant that this is not what she's doing, go back through her page. Don't keep asking her, because if she's like me, she's probably going to get a little more upset every time you ask, because one thing that I can't stand are liars. And I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say that I can't stand liars when I'm one behind the scenes. I'm not a fucking liar. So when you continue to ask me questions that I already know I've answered, it pisses me off, because you're insinuating that I'm a liar, and that's a trigger point for me. So don't ask her yet. Go back to her page. Go all the way through. Now, don't mess around and like something. Don't look like a creep. Why is he looking at pages from 2017? Don't do that. Just scroll. Look at her posts and see if anything looks different from what she's posting now. And if you see that there's no difference, bro, she's telling you the truth. Your emotions are involved, and so now you're feeling a little more vulnerable. You're feeling, you're feeling vulnerable. And with most of us, once we start to feel vulnerable with people, that's when some of our insecurities come out, and that's legitimate, and that's okay. When I become vulnerable with someone, I do become a little self-conscious about certain things. And I'm sure that that's with everybody, because that's that step towards y'all bonding, and that's that step towards you beginning to trust them and warm up to them. And so, yeah, some insecurities are going to come out. And that's okay, but you got to acknowledge that that's what it is. You can't project it on her, especially when she knows who the hell she is. That's the other thing that has a tendency to irritate me. I know who I am. I know I'm a great woman, but I also know that I'm an imperfect woman. I know I have flaws. I know I have weaknesses. I know I have strengths. I know my good. I know my bad. I know my light. I know my dark. So you're not going to be able to try to put anything on me that I know does not match who I am. I will reject it every single time. And as aggressive as you become with it, I will be just as aggressive to reject it. So if this woman knows who she is, you're not going to try to get this on her. This is a you issue, and either you fix it or you leave her alone. It's really that simple. So that's the first thing. Make sure that it's not that your emotions are causing you to see things differently, not that she's saying things differently. Now, if you do notice a change, if you do notice that things are a little different now that you've started dating, you can ask her, and you can maybe even say, listen, I know you said that you don't talk about me online, but one of the reasons I think you might be is because I just noticed you talked about ABCD before we met. And since we met, now it seems like you're talking about EFGH. And that may spark a conversation as long as you come to her the right way. Don't come to her accusing, because I promise you, if she's telling you the truth, she will cancel you at some point. Honest people will not continue to try to prove that we're honest fucking people. We'll just go find somebody who believes that we're fucking honest. So make sure you approach it the right way. Second thing that you need to do, and this is probably the biggest, even if you don't want to do number one, which I strongly suggest you do, but even if you don't want to do number one, I want you to focus on number two, and this is where you have to be honest with you. Any woman who is really into you, who is happy to be with you, who is happy to be spending time with you, who is glad to have this opportunity, any woman who has access to social media, if she is someone who is going to talk about you but still wants to kind of keep you close and private, she'll bring you up in good posts. She'll bring you up in positive posts. She may not be ready to put you out there yet. Like, that's me. I don't necessarily want to put who I'm seeing out in public, because I'm like, I'm really just enjoying this for me. But damn, when he did blah, 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 that felt so good. I got to write something about it. But I'll just do it in a way where he knows it's about him, but nobody else does. That's what we have a tendency to do. We're going to bring you up in good posts. So the second thing I want you to think about is, are you only thinking that she's talking about you in negative posts? If the only time you ever seem to think that she's talking about you is a negative post when she is actively telling you how happy she is, it's projection, bro. Why the hell would a woman be happy with you and then only talk about you in a negative sense on social media? Like, that doesn't even make sense. Unless y'all dealing with a different type of woman. I don't know. Maybe there's another type of woman out there. But if she is 100% happy with you, bro, she's going to be talking about you. If she talks about you at all on the low, it's going to be the positive post. So if the only time you notice is negative, then either you're feeling guilty about some shit she doesn't know you're doing, her words are starting to trigger the insecurities that are coming out now that you feel more vulnerable around her, or you're just insecure altogether. Like, and again, she can't fix none of that. That's not a her thing. That's a you thing. Because she's been doing the same thing before she knew you existed. Why would she change up now? And don't ask her to change up. Now, if she chooses to, that's fine. But that's one of the things that I have to tell brothers who are dating me. Look, I'm telling you up front, I don't do subliminal posts. I'm telling you up front that you will see me make sure that I post regularly, because, social media is a business for me. It's not personal. So if I don't get back to you in 5 minutes, but you see me post, just know that's an algorithm thing, and I'm going to get right back to you as soon as I finish, because this was my business before I met you. You're not going to change shit over here. Accept that or go that way. So don't ask her to change anything. But if the only time that you think she's talking about you, if it is unequivocally when you see her put something that you perceive to be negative, and this woman is telling you how happy she is with you, and you can feel when a woman is happy with you, then this is a you issue, and you need to address it. Let me see what everybody else has to say. Jason says, I don't disagree with that. Last question. Tate. What's up, Ellery? Good to see you, bro. What's up, Treads? Good to see you. I'm here, y'all. Sorry I'm late. Who's trying to get these snuggles? Don't be giving my snuggles away, bro. Ed said that's called human nature. And thanks for tuning in, Ed. What's up, John? Come on, Allison. You know Hit Dogs holler, man, every damn time. They do. What's up, Jonathan? No grown people. Wait, do grown people still do this? I want to say they don't, Jonathan, but they do. I've experienced it twice. I have experienced it with 2 different brothers, so I know that it's the truth. I had one who was just like, well, I'm not sure that I even really want to be serious with you, because if I fuck up, I don't want to end up on one of your lives. Negro, I done told you I don't do that shit though. Like, I've said it multiple times. So there are grown people who still do this. Jason said this whole segment is dope. Headed to work. Love you too, bro. Gregorio says, whatever happened to that one-on-one communication when you feel more comfortable with blasting someone? Oh, when you feel more comfortable with blasting someone on social media instead of taking it to your partner. Are we 5 or 45? See, that's my point. I think subliminal posts are juvenile. I do. I understand why people do it, because they're hurt, and a lot of times they don't necessarily have friends who remind them, hey, put your phone down. You mad. Don't touch that. I get it. I get why people do it. It doesn't stop it from being juvenile. Why do I want the whole world to know something that I'm upset with you about? Like, that's because to me, if I really want you, then I want it to work. I told one gentleman, I said, listen, if you fuck up, I'm not going to tell Facebook you fucked up. I'm going to tell you that you fucked up, because Facebook can't help me. They didn't do it, so why am I going to talk to them? That's just my mindset. But apparently there are a lot of women who do this. And unfortunately, a lot of brothers have run into so many of those women that they just assume that all women do it. I get it, because even though we can get frustrated and we can say, well, you shouldn't judge me based off of other people. But you got to understand, we only build around the experiences in our world. Yes, we have to learn to rise above that if all of our experiences are negative and we want to experience something more positive. That's going to involve us not looking at what we see around us. But until we get to that point, y'all, if that's what they know, like, that's what they know. And they either are willing to know a different way, or we got to let them go back to what they're used to. So I get that there are a lot of women who must do this, and a lot of men who run into women who do this. And so at some point they just start thinking this must just be a woman thing. I just want to be up here to say it is not a woman thing. It is an immature thing, because I've seen men do it too. It's an immaturity thing, and I don't want to be immature. I don't want to walk in that low energy. Jason says, and we men need to stop worrying so much about what our women are doing, saying on social media. I want to stand up and applause, but I'm going to be good. Chill out. Okay, he gone for real. Okay. That would be good too. I would really appreciate that. And again, I understand that we all come in with our different baggage and our different experiences and our different hurts and our different traumas. I get that. I don't want to put down a brother's pain no more than I'll put down a woman's previous pain. I'm just saying, if the universe sends you different, if God sends you different, that means you got to think different. You can't have different thinking the same way. Not everybody lies. Not everybody is going to play with your feelings. Not everybody is waiting to, go down into the gutter the minute that you make them mad. Some women will just come talk to you. We exist. What's up, Jason? Good to see you, hometown. Hey, DeMarcus. Thank you so much for tuning in. Jason says facts. And what's up, Corey? Good to see you. He's feeling guilty about something. He's going to fuck it up, and she's not even talking about him. See, that's my point. That's all I'm saying. If I'm upfront with you and I'm consistent, and to be honest, y'all, sometimes I'm almost obsessively consistent because I've just been around so many after effects of lies in my family, out of my family, other relationships that people close to me have been in, relationships I've been in. I have seen firsthand how long a lie can go down a generation, multiple generations. I've seen how it can hurt people who weren't even involved in the process. And a lot of times we weren't even born before the lie occurred, and we're still dealing with the after effects of it. I hate lying more than you will ever know. But I'm also not someone who says, well, I'm going to hate when everybody else lies, but it's okay when I do it. I don't do that. So a lot of times I'm overly honest because I want to be so far removed from the shit that I've seen. So if I walk in that and I talk in that and I'm consistent and you're still thinking something, brother, it's you. If your girl is walking in this level of consistency that I'm telling you about, and I believe she is because you called her your girlfriend, you didn't call her your ex. So if she's walking in this same level of consistency, brother, it's you. You got to figure out why it is that you feel like every post is about you. Is it insecurity? Is it guilt? Or is it arrogance? Do you think, is there something in you that feels like you're the best thing in her life? So now she can't possibly have anything else to talk about but you? You might need your ego checked. That's all I'm saying. John says, if you out here jumping on these women's posts and your feelings, the woman is that and thus, and she don't do this and that, seek help immediately. I agree, John. I do. If you out here jumping on these women's posts and your feelings, the woman is that and thus, and she don't do this and that, seek help immediately. Exactly. Like I'm really easy to date if you're honest. Now I give you hell if I pick up that you fucking me around. I do. I acknowledge that. I don't apologize. But when you're consistent and you're bringing consistency out of me and I'm feeling you and I feel like you're feeling me, I'm the easiest person to date ever. And I'm spending too much time dealing with you and enjoying what you're giving me to jump on my phone and talk about it every 5 minutes. That's not me. And most of the times you should know it's not me. And I think that this is not your girl. I do, because if you didn't believe her, you wouldn't have bothered asking me, how do I know if she's telling the truth? Part of you knows that she's telling the truth. So I want to encourage you to figure out why you're having such an issue with her posts now. Because I just have a sneaking suspicion you're not going to see you're not going to see that she's talking about anything different than what she talked about before she met you. I think this is a you thing, and I hope you figure it out before you mess it up. All right, let's get to this last question. This last question is from my brother D-Mote, representing the Bad Squad. He tuned into a video that I did this past Saturday. It was an impromptu video that I did, and in the process of that video, I was talking about something that a lot of brothers didn't seem to be aware of, which is some women who put spells on them. And so D-Mote wanted to know how you can tell if an ex has put a spell, a hex, a root on you. Now, I'm going to go through this list really quickly. I had to do research because since I'm not one who does spells, I'm not one who does those things, I wasn't real sure how to answer the question, and I didn't want to just go off the top of my head. So I went and did some research. So I also want to say that this is not always going to be women putting spells on men. Men can also put spells on women, either directly or by finding a female friend or family member who's willing to do it for them. So in either case, let's go ahead and talk about this list. So one of the ways you can start to tell if you have some kind of a spell or something put on you. Are you someone who was normally very focused and someone who slept pretty well, but since this breakup, you're having a lot of daydreams, you're having a lot of nightmares? They may or may not include the person that you dated, but some of the spells are designed to just make you feel uneasy and off. Some spells are to bring you back, but there are some spells designed to punish you for leaving. So one of the things to punish you for leaving is, well, you didn't do me right, so you're not going to get no more sleep. You didn't do me right, so now I'm going to mess with your focus, which should affect your job. So you want to check that out. Number 2, do you find yourself obsessing and overthinking? It could be about anything, but do you find yourself obsessing and overthinking about this ex, about something that the ex said, something that maybe the two of y'all didn't agree to? Did your ex happen to bring up that something you did bothered him or her and you ignored it, but now that's all you keep thinking about? That could be a sign. Do you have an unusual attraction to certain people? Again, there are spells to bring you back, but there are spells to punish you. So in a spell to bring you back, do you find yourself constantly attracted to women who have the same name? Do you find yourself attracted to women who look like your ex? You can't explain what it is, but every time you run into a woman, her name is Tracy or Tiffany or Tamika or Tasha or whatever. Everybody you meet has your ex's name. That's designed to keep her in your head. Likewise, let's say you're someone who may not necessarily be into a particular stature of woman. Maybe you're not into short women. Maybe for whatever reason you find short women to be unattractive, or you find thick women to be unattractive, or you find overweight women to be unattractive. But now that seems to be all that turns you on. Yeah, she fucking with you, bro. She is. Just putting that out there. Number 4. Are you dealing with sadness, depression, or anxiety that does not make sense? Everything in life is fine, but for some reason you have no joy. You're always waiting for the other shoe to drop, and that's not normally like you. Or you're just depressed. You can't get out of bed. There's just something's not right. There's a chance that that's related to a spell. Are you missing them too much? Like in your mind it was over, but now you go to bed thinking about them. You wake up thinking about them. All day they're on your mind. When you're taking a shower, when you're brushing your teeth, when you're on the toilet, when you're driving, when you're eating, when you're watching sports, whatever it is, that person they never leave your mind, like ever. That could be a sign. Number 6, are you also dealing with unusual mood swings? One minute you're happy, the next minute you're mad. And I'll add to this, are your mood swings starting to match any mood swings your ex had? Did they have a tendency to go back and forth between happy and sad? Did little things set them off? Did they go 0 to 100 on insignificant stuff and now you're doing the same thing? There's a chance that that is part of a spell. Number 7. Are you having unusual or rapid changes in your behavior? And is that behavior matching either stuff that your ex did, stuff that your ex said she wanted you to do, or stuff that she knows you said you would never do? Are you someone who's never been late to work and now for the last 3 months you can't get there before 10 minutes after? Are you someone who had straight A's in school and now you're on the verge of flunking out from this last semester? Are you someone who worked out excessively, but the last time you went you pulled a muscle, so now you haven't been able to work out in 6 weeks? Are you someone who I'll just have to take it here. Are you someone who used to be able to go 2-3 rounds and now you can't keep it up longer than 20 minutes? Some women will get a spell that gets you there too. And last but not least, are you having relationship issues, either romantic or platonic? Now, this can either be whether a spell was to bring you back or whether a spell was to punish you. In either case, are you finding that every dating experience that you have crashes and burns no matter how well it was going? No matter how well it was going, no matter how much you were into them, no matter how much she was into you, crazy shit happens and the relationship goes downhill. Now, on the platonic side, are you noticing that you now don't seem to have the same relationship with people that didn't like your ex? Because sometimes these spells can attack the relationships you had with people who were against y'all being together. If they can get that person eliminated, then they don't have that person talking in your ear, so that when you come back to them, you don't have any opposition on the other side. Now, I do want to say this. I would be irresponsible if I didn't put out disclaimers. While all of these could be signs of you having a spell, you have to, again, self-reflect and ask yourself 4 questions. Number 1, did you mistreat them? I'm not talking about what your definition of mistreatment is. Did you do something that they told you hurt and you kept doing the shit? Did you lie? Did you deceive? Did you cheat? Did you put your hands on them? Did you do anything like that? Number 2, were you into them and you ran? Were you getting too close, so you self-sabotage? Were things going too fast for you, so instead of understanding that it could have just been a blessing in disguise, you decided to run? Do you really know yourself? Like, do you know you're in and out, you're light and dark, you're good and bad? Do you know you to the point that nobody can tell you about you or try to put anything in your head about you because you know who you are? And finally, how have you treated dating partners in the past? Do you have a history of cheating? Do you have a history of playing with people's feelings? Do you have a history of wasting people's time? Do you have a history of selling dreams to women? Do you have a history of that? And the reason you have to ask yourself these 4 questions is this. If you can't answer these 4 questions in the positive, there's a good chance there's no spell on you. Your ass is guilty. Karma has met you. Or your conscience is telling you, you need to go back. You ran for no reason. That woman is for you. Go back. And the universe is not going to let you sit still until you're back where you're supposed to be, because that's part of your journey and your process. But if you mistreated this person, or you have a habit of mistreating people and all of that other stuff, there's a chance that this isn't a hex. There's a chance that karma has just finally met up with your ass. So you have to be honest with that. If you can answer those questions in the affirmative, then yeah, there's a chance that that woman has put a spell on you. What's up, Aaron? Good to see you, bro. Let's see here. I don't think I see any more comments. Yeah, I think I'm good. So I hope, Demote, that answered your question. I think he mentioned underneath the post that he was feeling some things and he just wasn't sure. So hopefully this helps. I can't really tell you what to do if this falls into, I'm not into that particular part of the world. So definitely find somebody who understands it so they can maybe help you a little bit more. And if you are in fact under a spell, see if they can help you get from under it. All right, so that's all I have for today, y'all. Thank you so very much for tuning in. I can't believe I actually hit 1 hour and 4 minutes, not 2 hours. I'm proud. So thank y'all so much for tuning in. I truly do appreciate it. Again, feel free to connect with me on any social media platform. I'm under Allison Denise, or I am Allison Denise. If you have a question you want me to answer right here live every Tuesday from 2 to 3, please feel free to inbox or DM me on any social media that you're connected to me on. You can also email me at the adpodcast2020@gmail.com. Until next week, I love you guys. Those of you who are buying tickets to the Valentine's Day event, I will see you on Sunday. So until then, take care. Peace.